What if I told you that Valentine's Day was never meant to be about chocolate, roses, awkward dinner dates, or pastel cards? What if I told you the real Valentine was a Catholic priest, possibly even a bishop, who was executed by the Roman Empire for defending Christian marriage and refusing to renounce Christ? What if this holiday that we treat kind of like a joke is actually rooted in martyrdom, sacrament, and covenantal love? This February, we are not canceling Valentine's Day. We are reclaiming a holy day, and it starts with the real story of Saint Valentine. I'm Shwa, and this is Pop Culture, the channel where faith and fandom meet. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, drop a comment down below, and please hit the like button. It really helps out the algorithm. Without further ado, let's talk about the theology of love according to Saint Valentine. Today's video is brought to you by Ignatius Press. If you're serious about Catholic theology, philosophy, or literature, they've been the go-to publisher for decades. Whether it's the Church Fathers, papal documents, classic novels, stuff for kids, or works by thinkers like Joseph Ratzinger, Scott Hahn, or Michael O'Brien, Ignatius brings beauty and clarity to the Catholic tradition. So please check out the link in the description to explore their newest titles and help support the channel. Saint Valentine lived in the 3rd century during the height of Christian persecution in the Roman Empire. Historical records are unclear whether he was a priest in Rome or the bishop of Terni. What is clear is that he ministered to persecuted Christians, celebrated the sacraments in secret, and was eventually arrested for refusing to abandon the faith. According to early Christian tradition, Valentine was imprisoned under Emperor Claudius Gothicus. While in custody, he healed the blind daughter of a Roman judge named Asturius through prayer. This miracle led to the conversion and baptism of the judge and his entire household. Valentine continued preaching the gospel and celebrating Christian marriages. He refused to worship Roman idols. He refused to deny Christ. He refused to stop administering the sacraments. For this, he was beaten and beheaded on February 14th in the year 269. That is the man behind Valentine's Day. If there was any romance involved in his story, it was the romance of divine charity. A man laying down his life for truth, a shepherd refusing to abandon his flock, a priest defending sacramental marriage in a culture that treated women as property and divorce as convenience. So, how did we go from martyrdom to candy hearts? The association of Valentine's Day with romantic love did not emerge until the 14th century. It came from medieval poets, especially Geoffrey Chaucer, who read about birds choosing their mates in February. Soon after that, courtly love culture took over the feast. Cupid was added centuries later, chocolate marketing followed, Hallmark completed the transformation. The church never taught any of that. St. Valentine's feast was always about heroic fidelity to Christ and sacramental love. The Roman martyrology still lists him as a saint, and he's still commemorated on February 14th. His relics are still venerated to this day. The feast has not been replaced, but it has been buried by consumerism, as often happens with Christian holy days. So while we're on the subject, what is love? Well, Scripture gives us the answer clearly. John 15:13 says, "Greater love has no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends." Love is self-gift. Love is sacrifice. Love is covenant. St. Paul tells us in Ephesians 5 that marriage is a living icon of Christ's union with the church. Ephesians 5:25 says, "Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her." This is not poetic metaphor, this is sacramental theology. The Catechism of the Catholic Church teaches, marriage is a covenant by which a man and a woman establish between themselves a partnership of the whole of life. It is ordered toward the good of the spouses and the procreation and education of offspring. Marriage is a sacrament. It gives grace. It participates in divine love. Pope Leo XIII wrote in one of his encyclicals that Christ restored marriage to its original dignity, making it holy, indissoluble, and supernatural in its purpose. Saint Valentine died defending that truth. Now, I didn't forget what channel this is. Let's talk pop culture. Think about Titanic. Jack dies so Rose can live. It feels heroic, it feels romantic, but it is love detached from covenant, detached from sacrament, detached from permanence. Now take The Notebook, a beautiful love story. Deep affection, longing, fate. Yet the theology of love presented is emotional permanence without moral permanence. Even La La Land, one of my favorite movies of all time, teaches us that love means choosing personal dreams over lifelong union. Now, I'm not saying these films are evil, they are honest about longing, and they capture Eros beautifully. But Eros alone cannot sustain a life. St. Valentine teaches a higher vision, a love that endures suffering, a love that binds itself permanently, a love that is willing to die rather than betray truth. That is the love Christ reveals on the cross. This is why we need to reclaim Valentine's Day. This is not about rejecting romance, it is about elevating it. Wear red for martyrdom, attend Mass with your spouse, pray for your marriage, write a letter thanking God for the person you love, celebrate sacramental love, celebrate covenant fidelity, celebrate Christian marriage. So please, get your wife flowers, take your husband to a nice steak dinner, enjoy dessert and wine. Those are good things, but they are lesser goods than sacramental love.
Every time you go, I'm feeling heavy.
This is the first entry in my year-long series called Reclaiming the Holy Days. Next month, we are doing St. Patrick, and trust me, his story is even wilder. If this moved you, share it. Send it to someone who thinks Valentine's Day is just about flowers and chocolate. And if you want to support this mission and keep the theological essays going, visit my Ko-fi, where you can support the channel for as low as $5 a month. Remember, love is not dead, it just needs the resurrection. I'm Shwa, and this is Pop Cultured. See you next week, and as always, peace be with you. Happy Valentine's Day.